what do I do when I get to practice? Well, practices, of course, have various lengths. In fact, at the elementary school ages from 3rd to 5th grade, oftentimes they're no longer than an hour. It's kind of hard to keep kids for 90 minutes anyways at that age due to their lack of attention span. And middle school, I advocate an hour and a half. Sometimes, depending on the program, they have 2. But there are a couple of ironclad rules that I have when it comes to practice. Generally, every child should have a ball. This is something I stole from the youth soccer people many, many years ago. If you don't have a program that can give the kid a ball, most children have a basketball around the house. Have them bring it to every practice. Some will forget, so make sure you bring a bag of basketballs with you. Every child has a ball. You can get so much more done, especially with repetitions, if every child has a ball, rather than having 4 balls for 10 kids or 2 balls for 12 kids, which means automatically the vast majority of the kids in your practice won't have a ball at any one time. And believe me, they are prone to more mischief if they don't have a ball. So have a ball for every child. Number 2, the way you set up your practice, let's say it's an hour. First 20 minutes, 1/3, should be all individual skills. There have been several segments and activities I've shown you throughout this film of things you can do with the ball, with a kid. Second 20 minutes, the second third, should be small-sided games, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. This would be more at the middle school level now. And then the third third, the last 20 minutes or last half hour, if you have a 90-minute practice, would be a full court scrimmage, 5-on-5, under control, and also minimizing the dribbles past half court. They can dribble to half court, but once they get into the half court and they're playing offense, make sure they share it by cutting the number of dribbles down. By the way, at the 3rd grade level, that might be 3 or 4 dribbles. By 8th grade, they should be learning how to play even with just 1 or 2. I leave it up to you, the coach, to decide what is better for your team, and depending on the skills and the abilities of those kids, especially in those latter years. Number 2, children at these ages need to be engaged. They need exercise. Oftentimes when you're running basketball practice, it's during weekdays or weekday nights. They have been sitting in school for 5, 6, 7 hours during the day, oftentimes sitting, listening to teachers, which is fine. That's the way we do schools in this country. But you're going to have to understand something. By the time they get to the basketball court that evening at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, they're ready to go. All right, so try to think to yourself, did I really want to have a 12-year-old child or an 8-year-old child listening to me give long dissertations about how to dribble or how to pivot? You got to be very careful with what you say, how much you say, and get them out there and do. Children of these ages by far are what I call doing learners. To sit there and listen to you say something, you might disengage them from the practice. The soccer people have the wonderful phrase, beware the 3 L's, lectures, laps, and lines. If your practice tends to be lines of kids standing around, laps because they don't listen to you or you think that's nice because your high school coach did that to you 25 years ago, and lectures, I don't have to talk to you about that. I am a lecturer. And what you want to know is kids have to get out there and do. Oftentimes what I tell youth coaches is to do a hard segment where there's a lot of running and their red faces and their hearts are beating pretty well. Follow that by a softer segment where now that they're a little tired, they'll probably be a little less disengaged from you. They might be able to hear an explanation of something for 1 or 2 minutes. But if you're looking at a 60 or 90-minute practice for these children, make sure for sure that these kids are moving quite a bit. You want them engaged, you want them moving, you want their hearts beating, and very much you want it to be fun. And the great thing about 60 or 90 minutes, by the time it ends and they're tired, ready to go home and go to bed, they want to come back next time because you've made the practice very engaging.